Hello Year 11 and welcome to the night before news for your English language paper 2. This will be on the afternoon of Tuesday the 4th of March. The important thing to remember is that we advise you to start off with section B, that's the writing, and question 5. It's worth 40 marks, which is half of the entire paper. There will only be one question, and of that writing question there's 24 marks for content and organisation and 16 marks for technical accuracy. Don't forget that some of the skills that you will be marked on are organising your paragraphs, including varying those lengths and varying the ways you start paragraphs, using ambitious and sophisticated vocabulary, thinking about how to craft your language features and devices, using a range of punctuation and sentence structure, and accurate spelling. In terms of your timings for question 5, it's important to plan your answer really well. Spend 10 minutes planning it, both for the content and the techniques and for the sequence of your ideas. Then give yourself 30 minutes writing time, aim for 1.5 size of high quality writing, and then spend 5 minutes proofreading and checking your accuracy. Let's make sure there are no careless errors there. Some ideas to help you with your planning: the 10 minutes planning time, or 12 minutes if you get extra time, are thinking about first of all working out what the purpose and the audience and the type of text that you have been asked to write is. You can use a T-bar grid to plot your ideas using the 6-step plan and your techniques. So in terms of your ideas, think about connecting with the audience, why they should be interested in it. The first reason that you're going to give, perhaps outlining a problem. The second reason, showing the consequences of this problem. Your third reason, offering a solution. Then giving a counter argument and a rebuttal for people who may think differently. And finally, a call to action, and then you can end your writing. Don't forget to use some techniques from A Ripe Forest. Anecdotes are always really good, a short personal story and emotive language, direct address and a metaphor. For spelling and punctuation, you can use ellipsis and tripartite sequences. You can repeat important words or phrases and use statistics, rhetorical questions, hyperbole or exaggeration, and directly address your audience. Once you've finished question 5, you can move on to section A, and remember that we recommend that you answer questions 1, 4, 2 and 3 in that order. This is because question 4 has more marks than other questions, and you're going to minimize your chance of losing marks on that if you leave that to the end. So section A is worth 40 marks. Have a close look on this slide at your timings and the amount of question marks that each question carries. You should allow yourself 15 minutes reading time, or 18 if you get extra time. Read the questions first, particularly question 4. And in your answer booklet, for the question 4 space, you can draw yourself a T-bar grid, on one side putting source A and the other side for source B, where you'll jot down some ideas about what the writer's attitudes, perspectives or feelings are. When you read through source A, you could highlight any quotations that you might want to use that really help convey the writer's opinion or feelings or attitude or perspective. Do the same for source B. Question 1 should be quite a quick question, but allow yourself 5 minutes, 7 minutes even if you have extra time, to make sure that you bank your 4 marks here. First of all, identify, you could underline the key lines in the question. Box that off in the texts and make sure you use answers only from that section. Identify the 4 statements that you have been asked to identify. You could tick them off first of all to make sure that you're absolutely certain of them before you shade them in. Shade the circles to identify which of the statements are either true or false, depending on what the question asks. If you make a mistake, put an X through that box. But if you decide then that putting an X through it is a mistake in itself, draw a circle round the box. These instructions will be on the question paper as well. When writing question 4, you should allow yourself about 18 minutes or 22 minutes if you have extra time. Once you've planned your ideas about what the writer's response are in your T-bar grid, you're now ready to write your answer. Have a look at the guidelines on this slide, which will help you formulate how to write a really good comparative paragraph for question 4. You are looking to write 2 to 3 comparative paragraphs. The most important thing is that you make a clear point, you back it up with a quotation, but you analyse how the writer conveys their feelings. So you're looking at analysing techniques and zooming in on language features. With question 3, you should allow yourself 13 minutes or 15 if you have extra time. This is a more straightforward language analysis question, and you'll be asked how the writer of one of the texts uses language to describe something that is focused on in the text. Make sure you select the right text, and once you have done that, box off the section you are asked to focus on. Read it through and either highlight or underline 3 quotations that work really well in answering the focus of the question. Briefly annotate them with techniques that they have been used and write up your answer using the what, how, why structure for 3 to 4 key ideas. For question 3, you should aim to write 3 analytical paragraphs. Remember, you make a clear point, you back it up with a quotation, you analyse and zoom in on the techniques and explain the impact of those techniques on the reader. Don't forget, there's some ideas for good ways to start your answers and start your sentences for question 3. Have a look at this slide and remember some of those that you've used in class as well. And finally, question 2 is worth 8 marks and you should spend about 9 minutes on it, or 10 minutes if you have extra time. This is a summary question, not language analysis. You'll be asked to use details from both texts to summarise what you understand about a similarity or a difference in the texts and what they are writing about. You must use quotations to support the points you make, but do not analyse language in the quotations. Your aim is to simply use a quotation to show that you have understood a similarity or a difference, and then to make an inference. You should aim to write 2 comparative paragraphs for this question. Remember, you make a clear point, you evidence it with a quotation, and then you comment on the inference and the effect on the reader. Have a look at this slide, which will show you some ideas for how to start sentences and make points for question 2. And by this time, Year 11, you'll have finished your exam. Well done. You've absolutely got this. All you need to do is to think, read carefully, answer clearly, answer every question. You never know what 1 extra mark might do for your overall grade. So don't give up, and best of luck.